Have you ever felt your heart race, your palms sweat, and your hair stand on end while watching a horror movie? But amidst all of that, have you also found yourself strangely enjoying the terror? It may seem counterintuitive to willingly subject yourself to fear, yet horror films remain one of the most popular genres in cinema. So, what exactly makes us drawn to something that scares us? Get comfortable, because today we're diving deep into the science of why horror movies captivate and terrify us. First, let's explore the biological mechanisms that kick in when we're frightened. Imagine you're watching a horror movie late at night. It's dark, the eerie music swells, and suddenly, bam! A jump scare hits. What just happened to your body? Well, your brain instantly reacts to perceived threats with something called the fight or flight response. This is controlled by the amygdala, a small, almond-shaped structure in your brain. It's the part that processes and interprets fear. When you see a scary scene, the amygdala sends urgent signals to your nervous system. Your body responds by releasing adrenaline. Your heart races, your pupils dilate to take in more light, and your muscles prime for action. This response is evolutionarily hardwired into us. Our ancestors depended on it for survival. Imagine early humans encountering a predator in the wild. The fight or flight reflex would prepare them to either flee or defend themselves. But here's the twist. In the safe environment of a movie theater or your living room, that same biological response creates a thrill rather than actual panic. It's like riding a roller coaster. Your body gets the ride without the actual risk. Let's talk about emotions. Did you know that fear and excitement are closely related? There's even a psychological theory called the excitation transfer theory. It states that the arousal you experience during a horror scene, elevated heartbeat, shallow breathing, can amplify other emotions. In other words, the fear you feel might enhance a sense of relief or even happiness once the scary part is over. Imagine this. The credits roll after you've just endured 2 hours of jump scares and eerie plot twists. You turn to your friend and laugh, feeling oddly euphoric. That's because, even as fear triggers the release of adrenaline, your brain also floods with dopamine, the feel-good chemical, once the threat is gone. You're literally getting a chemical reward for surviving, even though the danger was fictional. Isn't that wild? Imaginary pop-up graphics show social aspect. The next piece of the puzzle lies in our social behavior. Watching a horror movie isn't just about personal survival instincts, it's also a social activity. Studies have shown that scary movies can strengthen social bonds. Why, you ask? It comes down to something called communal co-regulation. When you and your friends shriek during a scary scene, you're synchronizing your fear responses. These shared emotions create a unique camaraderie. This is why haunted houses, horror movie marathons, or even telling ghost stories around a campfire can be a bonding experience. Shared fear makes us feel connected and safer in a group setting. Now, let's flip the perspective. Have you ever wondered how filmmakers manage to manipulate your fear so effectively? Believe it or not, horror is a very calculated form of art. Directors use a cocktail of techniques to prey on your psychological vulnerabilities. One such technique is the use of suspenseful soundtracks. A study even found that dissonant chords and high-pitched noises, like the screeching violins in Psycho, mimic the sound of distress signals in nature. These sounds trigger anxiety and heighten your fear response. Then there's the use of lighting. Dimly lit scenes or harsh, unnatural hues make ordinary environments seem eerie and unpredictable. Visual storytelling also plays a huge role. Directors often include hints or foreshadowing to make you uneasy. For example, the camera might linger a little too long on an open closet door or show a character hearing faint whispers. These cues build anticipation, and that anticipation amplifies your fear even before anything actually happens. Genius, right? And we can't forget the uncanny valley effect. This describes the discomfort we feel when we encounter something that's almost, but not entirely, human. Think of dolls with lifelike features, or CGI monsters with humanoid faces. Our brains struggle to process these as either real or fake, leaving us feeling unnerved. That's why movies featuring creepy robots or possessed dolls are instant hits for horror fans. Let's circle back to the question that started all of this. Why do we seek out fear in the first place? Psychologists have proposed a few theories. One popular idea is that horror movies give us a safe way to explore the unknown. Humans are curious by nature, and we have an innate desire to understand what scares us. Think about ghost stories or myths. They're ways for people to navigate our fear of death or the supernatural. Horror movies tap into that same curiosity. They let us confront fears we can't explain, but in a controlled setting. For some individuals, horror films are almost like a mental exercise. They let us test the limits of our fear tolerance. How much can you watch until you cover your eyes or scream? Good horror movies strike a balance. They scare you just enough to keep you entertained, but not so much that you're traumatized. A key thing to note is that not everyone enjoys horror films in the same way. In fact, our individual tolerance for fear is influenced by multiple factors. Age, personality, and even past experiences all play a role. Thrill seekers, for instance, especially enjoy the adrenaline rush that horror films provide. Meanwhile, individuals with more sensitive temperaments might find horror movies overwhelming. Interestingly, gender also plays into horror movie preferences. Studies show that men are generally more likely to enjoy horror movies. One theory suggests this could be influenced by traditional gender norms, such as the expectation for men to appear brave or fearless in group settings. However, everyone's response is unique, reflecting their own psychology. By now, it should be clear that our love for horror movies is more than just a random quirk. From the intricate workings of our brains to our evolutionary past, many factors contribute to why we find fear so fascinating. And filmmakers know this. They craft experiences designed to turn our deepest fears into entertainment. It's a dance between danger and safety, terror and thrill. So the next time you settle in for a horror flick, remember, you're not just watching a movie. You're experiencing a finely tuned psychological and social phenomenon. And who knows, maybe understanding the science will make those jump scares a little less terrifying, or perhaps even more enjoyable. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating dives into the world of scientific facts. See you in the next episode.